Gary Beals. If you guys don't know, you know now. Gary Beals is on fire. He has his new album that just dropped. You were on Canadian Idol. You've had so many singles that are coming out. Gary, thank you so much for being here.
Oh my goodness, it feels good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I wouldn't be anywhere else tonight but here.
All
Uh,
right.
yeah, so if we could just, what I want to do is just like dive right into it.
All right.
Yeah, the name of your album. What is the name of your album?
So yeah, the name of my album, which is my third release, released on Friday, October the 23rd, it is called Bleed My Truth.
Bleed My Truth. I absolutely love that. And can you just share, why did you name it that?
I named my album Bleed My Truth because my album is a journey of yeah, I mean, it's a journey of my life,
Mm,
from young to now. And it speaks about where I'm at currently in terms of me bleeding my truth, me living in my authentic being, me being present, and not living based on the opinions of other people, but just living in purpose. And I just decided to call it Bleed My Truth. And it has really been a healing experience for me in terms of writing the album, creating this album. And I'm just excited that it's out.
we are all excited that it's out. We're talking about your authenticity
Right.
and not caring about the opinions of others. That was so key when you said that. Was there a time in your journey where you did care what other people thought?
I did. I mean, in terms of, I struggled a lot with my sexuality, from growing up to, being in my 20s. The fact that I am gay and I'm able to, be able to voice that and say that, it speaks volumes because for years I wasn't able to stand in the truth of who I am. Just like I'm able to profess that, I'm a Black man, I should at the same time be able to say, yes, I'm a gay man as well. And it doesn't make up the totality of who I am, but I see the beauty of me embracing parts of myself and how it just has opened doors for me, and the engagement that I have with other people. It's beautiful. The energy, that I experience from other people. It's really it's beautiful, and it's very enlightening at the same time, and inspiring, I must say.
And the part that really just touched me right there when you said that you've come to terms with your sexuality, you've come to terms with it. Do you have a extra layer of, is there a stigma around that being a Black man on top of that? Is there another extra layer of a stigma that you have to face?
I mean, indeed so. I mean, as a Black man growing up, I'm from Nova Scotia. I grew up in a small Black community, and there were surrounding communities as well. And it's very close knit community. So as a Black man, there was the pressures of, just kind of conforming to a certain, I guess individual sort of thing. So I kind of played small. Not I did
Mm.
play small throughout my life, not really showing up present as myself. And I mean, layered with my sexuality and layered as a Black man, yeah, I mean, there was that pressure of just kind of conforming to, like I said, people's opinions of who I actually should be.
That's deep. And, I think a lot of us face that. I think, regardless of our sexual orientation or our gender, a lot of us face the part where you said playing small, not showing
Hmm.
up who we truly are, and um, not wanting to make other people uncomfortable. So we would
Right.
play small so that right, not to make them feel uncomfortable. But
Right, right.
there comes a time when we just got to show up at who we are full force, right?
Yeah, and it feels amazing to kind of be out of the box sort of thing
Mm.
and not be, stagnated sort of thing. So I feel liberated. I've never ever felt that way. I mean, there's been times where, I hated doing interviews. I hated, kind of having open dialogue, but it's something that I'm getting used to. And it's important for me to use my voice to, kind of, speak and to live in my truth.
And I love that part. I always really believe that revealing is healing.
Indeed.
Revealing is healing. It's revealing for you, saying it, using your voice, using your platform. it's healing every time you share. And I know that there's someone, listening that is inspired by what you're saying as well. Um, my favorite part about the entire album, which I must say is amazing.
All right.
Your CD is on point. I'm so
Thank
glad that
you.
I got my copy. What I love about the album is every song, Gary, is like you're telling your story. You're telling, it's not just the music and the vibe and the good energy of the music. It's the fact that there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
Was
And
that
every
purposeful? Yeah.
Indeed. So, I mean, every song, I could literally break down every song on that album from, my first single, Me for Me, which is about being vulnerable and just having open and honest conversations in relationships. Sometimes we show up in relationships not as ourselves, but as somebody else or as who somebody wants us to be. And so, Me for Me is about, showing up as ourselves. And I also have Blood Red Roses, which is my second single, and that was inspired by my trip to South Africa. And it was just really me embracing my Blackness, the beauty of Blackness, and how powerful and resilient and unrelenting that we are as individuals. And you just our inner strength. I have like the song Bleed My Truth, which is the name of the album. It's about solitude and getting to a place where you need that time by yourself to get to know you, to tap into parts that you don't like or that you were taught not to like about yourself. And so just growing and learning from that, from good company, which is embracing that sensual side of me, and kind of it's about that sexual experience with individuals. And growing up, we didn't talk about sex, but so it's embracing that part. And hands is about different traumas that I experienced growing up, and just me talking to my younger self. And every song is, yeah, there's so much meaning behind every song.
And that's why I believe this album is such a success, because it's not only good music, but such deep meaning. And
Mm-hmm.
was there a time, Gary, when you weren't really putting out music as much? And if
Yeah,
so, why not? Yeah.
I stopped doing music. My last album came out in 2009. It was called The Rebirth of, and I did a bit of touring of that album, and then I just stopped doing music altogether. I actually lost the passion for music. Being surrounded around people that I don't think were actually for me, and then also because I wasn't able to present my full self. I didn't kind of know which lane that I kind of stood in. So it was important for me to take a step back, because how could this thing that I so love, music, how could I fall out of love with something that I loved? And so, yeah, it was important for me to take a step back and just get to know parts of myself. And like I said, embrace parts of myself. And when you embrace parts of yourself, it's like, okay, I'm good now. I stand in this lane with confidence and with the assurance that, yeah, I'm in a good place.
I love the way you said, I fell in love with what I loved, but I had to take the step back. I love that you use that discernment, that you knew that taking a step back wasn't weakness, that it was
Mm-hmm.
needed. And I find sometimes as Black people, when we step back, we sometimes take it as a failure. Like
Yeah,
we always have to show up, especially us in the media industry.
indeed so.
We always have to show up, and if we go missing, it's like we're not showing up for the people, and something's wrong.
Very
So
true.
right. So did you feel, I love the way you said that you needed to do it for yourself. So what would you recommend for someone who needs to take that step back, but feels like it might be a failure?
It was very important for me, because it was just like, in the music world, to step back for 11 years and not release any type of
Ooh.
music at all. That's like a lifetime, right? And there was so many times where people would ask, okay, are you doing music? When are you releasing music? And so there was that pressure for me to kind of just release music, but I really wasn't at that place where I could authentically release what I wanted to present to the world. So to anybody who may be struggling with, where they're at, or struggling with having to press forward because people are pressuring you to do that. It's just like, it's important for you to take time for yourself. And the song Bleed My Truth, it says, can't nobody interrupt my meditation, self-love and intimate liberation. And so it was important for me to just take time to meditate, like meditate and understand, tap in. And from there, it just, things just kind of blossomed.
That is amazing. And Bleed My Truth, that is one of my favorite songs. The first song on the album, the first one.
Me for Me.
Me for Me. The words in that one, Gary.
Yeah, I expose who I really am to you.
Oh, yeah.
I lay bare naked in front of you. And then the second verse says, if I write my thoughts on a page for you, would you see me the same way you read me? So, like, many of us, writing is therapeutic for me. So, if people write in diaries, but they don't want people to see that. But imagine if people actually saw what you write in your diary or what you write day to day, and would they actually see you the way that you present yourself? And so I always wanted to show up, like everything that I write, I wanted that to be me. I wanted to be present in that space to say, this is me.
That's deep. And I love the way you said, imagine if you write and everyone could see. I really believe in that. Write like as if everybody's watching. And you notice when you write like that, you don't hold back. If you need to get stuff off, get it off.
Yeah.
If you need to throw some F-bombs in there and this is how you're feeling at that time, it's such a release.
It's almost like when people say dance as if nobody's watching. But it's almost like we should say dance as if everybody's watching.
Amen.
Because that's how we should be, to be able to showcase ourselves, to show up as ourselves. And like I said,
love the way you show up. I just love the way you show up.
Well, hey, I love the way you show up. That's an inspiration for me.
I just love our friendship. I cherish that. I love the way we met and we connected right away from day one.
It felt good.
I just love the journey that we've done together. I'm so honored that you are here with us today. And what I want to do, the most special part for me, to really set the tone. If you could pick a favorite song, so I know you can't really pick favorites.
All right.
But if you could do a piece of acapella for us, that would be so amazing. So Gary.
All right, without any music. All right, okay.
Acapella, let's do it.
Let's see, maybe the title track, Bleed My Truth, which is, maybe I'll make it a little soulful because there's no instrumentation, but you cannot stay for long. Yeah. I need time to lay low, to put on my favorite song. Can't nobody change the song. Can't nobody interrupt my meditation. Self-love and intimate liberation. No anxious feelings, no anticipation. Ooh, come on. 'Cause I bleed my truth, yeah. And then actually I'm gonna go into how could you not take me for me? This is my first single. Why would you want to break free from me? Gave you my heart, gave you my trust, gave you my all, and you just gave it up. How could you not take me from me? A little snippet, something.
That was, I absolutely love that. We all love that. You should see just all the comments coming through. Everyone just loved it so much. And just in the acapella, it's so beautiful, so peaceful, it's so strong, so empowering, so Gary.
Oh, I guess.
Strong, that's the word, strong. Just like you've always come strong ever since Canadian Idol days. Until now, you've always been a strong inspiration to all of us.
Thank
To
you.
all
Thank
of us,
you.
to all of us. And if, where can we will put up your contact info, where can we get this album?
Oh my goodness, the album, I have physical copies and you can download it. It's available on all streaming platforms. My socials on Instagram, Gary Beals Music. Videos, I have so many videos on YouTube, so you can find that Gary Beals Music. And on Facebook, I'm Gary Beals Music as well. So everything is
I'm
Gary Beals Music. My website is garybeals.com.
awesome. And my copy of my CD, if you could just show that one more time, the copy of that
Yes,
CD. Yeah, I ordered mine. So excited.
yes.
Gary, before we go, if I could just ask you one last question.
All right.
If there was something that you could change on the album, would you? And what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a good question. If there's something, oh my goodness, what would I change? You know what? No, I am so in love with my album. I am so proud of the album, and it's a very eclectic album. It just touches so many different themes, like I said, from Blackness, from just bleeding your truth, from just, the aggressiveness of being in a relationship, from, good love, talking about love, the different forms of love, from hands, from pictures to talking about, going back and reflecting on my past, but being grateful to for where I am right now. So would I change anything? No, I probably would just add more songs to the album. That's probably the only thing I would change.
I love it. And I love you. I'm so glad you're not going to change a thing because I love it as is. I
Thank you.
love it as is. I can't wait for more music to come out. Gary, thank you so much for joining us. We love you.
Thank you, Karen. I love you lots. Appreciate it. Thank
Talk
you
to you
so much
soon.
for
Talk to you
having me.
soon.
Okay.